Good morning, and welcome to Coffee with the Birds. I'm 6 feet distant here from others in the room. I'm gonna take off my mask here, and so that you can see me, and maybe you can hear me a little better in the room here. My name is Curtis Dykstra, Parks Naturalist with Ottawa County Parks. This is Rick Veldman over here, over my shoulder. He's the tech guy behind everything, with that others may know, and Kestrel Imagery. So thank you, Rick, for being here to make this possible. And welcome all of you online to Coffee with the Birds. I see we've got 12 viewers online here. I'll kind of keep tabs on how many of you are out there. We've also got, I don't know, Rick, can you give a count on how many people are in here? We've got probably about 25 people in here. So live in the room. So actually, no, I won't turn the camera on all of you. I won't turn. A little bit flustered this morning. We had some technical issues that we're working through. Please let us know if the live stream feed continues to look sharp. Our upload speed here at the Nature Center has been giving us problems last night and this morning. So, scratchy sound. Yep, and if is that a little better? You let me know if that sound is a little better. Jess Vangenhoven is also remote, and so she'll be helping with some of the comments, looks like. Thanks, Jess. I appreciate that. But we had a few issues, so let us know if the live stream quality is not great. There's not a whole lot that we can do on this end other than maybe upgrade our live stream, right, Jess? Jess Vangenhoven is my supervisor here at the Nature Center, and she's also online helping out. So what is Coffee with the Birds? Briefly, so that you can get back to watching the birds. Coffee with the Birds is the schedule today is a live stream from 9:30 to 10:30. Feeder watching session. We've got a live studio audience here. So, like I said, about 25 people here. Oh, let them know you're here, right? And then at about 10:20, I'm going to switch over to do a live presentation here in the great room, and then a video will come live for you all there. And Jess, if you get a chance to put it in the comments there, that would be great. One less thing for me to think about. Put the link to the Woodpecker video in the comments. So at 10:30, we'll be doing that. And so hopefully you can enjoy the presentation on red-headed woodpecker today. And then we'll be doing a drawing here live and in person for door prizes and our grand prize today. If any of you online are the winners of that, we'll let you know. So we're not going to just limit it to the people who are here in person. I've got a lot of comments here. My goodness. And before we go to the birds, obviously I want to thank our sponsors. But what is Coffee with the Birds? Those of you who haven't been here before, anybody in the room not been to Coffee with the Birds before? This is your first time. Few of you. Excellent. Well, special welcome to all of you who this is your first time. Who has been here online and never in person? All right. Special welcome to you as well. So, and online, hopefully there's some people out there that are also new viewers. Feel free to comment and let us know where you're at, and if this is your first time with Coffee with the Birds. And what it is an informal time to enjoy coffee, pastries, birds, and community. That's what this is about. We all gather to enjoy the birds. We may do birding to different degrees. People may have been birding for 40, 50 years and tune in, but there may be somebody who's just new and interested in it or has just watched it at the backyard bird feeders or things like that. Our commonality is we like birds. We're interested in birds. And we also like pastries and coffee. Now, you're not forced to eat those things, but I don't think I really have to twist many arms to do that. Sorry, I can't provide that for you online, but hopefully you have your own coffee and donuts there. And that helps to build community, and that's what this is about too. Online community, but also in-person community. connecting about something that we have in common and that we enjoy, and getting to know each other and appreciate the beautiful thing about birds in particular. And so if you have any questions on bird feeder ID, we're going to be identifying the birds at the feeders. We're going to be taking questions, curiosities, stories from the audience live here, but also if you have comments or questions online, I will do my best to address them. And if I don't address them right away, you can feel free to text it again, comment it again in the video so that I get it. But Jess is also there. Please let me know if you're going to sign off, Jess, because right now it's nice to have you there. And then we'll do a Birding Tidbits presentation today. It's video for those of you online. The link will be coming, a 15-minute video on red-headed woodpeckers. And I'll be giving a presentation to those of you who are live and in person in the great room at about 10:30. At 11 o'clock, then we switch back over to here and have another feeder watching session for the late risers who come for the presentation and then come for the second session of feeder viewing. So with that, I want to thank our sponsors, Simpatico Coffee, for donating the wonderful bird-friendly shade-grown coffee. DeBoer Bakery has now been able to give us a 50% discount on their donuts, so we're thankful to them. If you patronize those businesses, please let them know that you appreciate their sponsorship of Coffee with the Birds. In addition, another business is DeBrine Seed Store. We've been buying our seed there. I've been making some nice friends over there, and the last time I went, they said, "We've got something for you," and they had a big box of seed. And some of those will be given away as prizes. Some of it has to go out here to feed the birds. And you see this wreath up here, number 5. Rick, I don't know if you can pull that up online. The number 5, let's see if I can. There, this. For those of you online, the number 5, this is a seed cake, and they donated a few of those. So you'll see those also in the prizes today. So very thankful to DeBrine Seed Store in Zeeland, downtown Zeeland, for their support of this program too. But last but not least, and I've missed Kestrel Imagery, and that others may know. My apologies, Rick. Rick Beldman, who does all the technology stuff behind the scenes. Thank you to Rick for volunteering his services. And he's involved with this business here that others may know, that does historical documentation of family members. And so if you wish to have the stories of your loved ones captured for perpetuity, he's the man to talk to. That others may know online, you can look it up online. He also runs Kestrel Imagery, where he does all kinds of video work, and in particular aerial imagery with drone, permitted and all the rest. You know, he jumps through all the hoops to do it right. So also, Friends of Ottawa County Parks provides the hot drinks that are not coffee. So thank you to them for the hot chocolate and cider. Those of you who are hot chocolate and cider fans, anybody? A few of you. Okay, good. And last but not least, our Coffee with the Birds Mug Club members. Those of you in the audience, raise your mugs. Cheers to all of you for being sponsors of this program. Now, those of you online, cheers to you as well. For your support of this program by being a Mug Club member. For $25, you can buy this wonderful mug, which has the winner of the 2021 photo contest on it by Doug Kuiper of a red-headed woodpecker. And thus, that's the topic of our program today. $25 gets you this, but also a lot of other perks. And knowing that you can support Coffee with the Birds and feeding the birds at the Nature Center here. Enough talking, right? Whoa. Okay, I'm going to switch over to the feeders because that's what we're going to do. Something's just scared all the birds off the feeder. Isn't that convenient? Let's switch to the feeders. Poof. They all go away. Candid camera. Where's the extra camera, Rick? Did you set that up? Oh, hawk cam. Okay, so for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the comments here. So those of you online, if I'm looking down this way, I'm looking at the computer and looking at your comments. So let's see. We've got Cindy from Grand Haven. We've got Mary from Grand Haven. There's the link for the red-headed woodpecker video. It is a very blustery morning, Linda, but this makes it good for the birds. When it's cold and blustery, when they're getting used to warm, then they come into the bird feeders like gangbusters. Cindy, sorry you're missing the donuts, but you're having molasses crinkle cookies from your grandmother's recipe. Well, I don't know, you know. Watching common redpoll is at my Niger feeder. So many people online are also watching their own feeders. So we appreciate you commenting on what you're seeing there. Marty and Lisa and Jennison say hi. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Good morning from Jessica Sori. I know that person. She's also has worked with me here at the Nature Center. See you soon. Jeff Slaughter and family coming later. Okay, Barb from Hudsonville. Good morning. Good morning, Jeff Newman. And I know I didn't go back all the way. I see Pam is out there. Looks good and sounds good. Good. I'm glad that's looking good so far. Lonnie is here. Carl and Judy Manning are here. Got coffee, got birds, all set. I love it. That's keep it simple. Just got coffee, got birds, all set. Excellent. Friends here in Fremont on this chilly morning, lots of birds and squirrel activity. Excellent. I'm kind of going back in time here. And sounds like we're pretty much caught up. We're good. Phew. So what we're going to do then is work the feeders a little bit and identify what we're seeing out there. Red-breasted nuthatch on number 10 right now, Rick. He just took off. He's on number 6 next to it, which the 6 got turned around. So Rick's on this camera right here, and we're going to switch to him every once in a while when he's got something good in the camera. But otherwise, we're going to be on this. So there's a downy woodpecker coming in on 5. That may be a good thing, too. On number 4, which is your upper left corner, is our busiest feeder, but then the lower right corner feeder is also very busy with goldfinches, the ones with the golden faces, the black wings and white wing bars. They're kind of a solid olive color. And then there are also pine siskins. Pine siskins on number 4, there is also a redpoll. Front and center is a redpoll. The pine siskins are facing away from you. There's a pine siskin front and center on the bottom right camera, which is the number 7 over here. Front and center on number 7. You see the yellow in the wings when he flaps them. They've got streaks on the breast, streaks on the side, yellow on the flanks of the tail, and yellow in the wings when they fly. The brighter the yellow, that indicates male versus female. Red-bellied woodpecker on the number 4 feeder there, upper left for those online. Cardinal, upper right on number 8, which is around the corner over here. There's a male cardinal. And on the number 1 feeder, which is our platform feeder, we've got a bunch of pine siskins and one redpoll in the back corner there. On the ground, we have a lot of juncos. We've had some tree sparrows this morning. The juncos are the gray ones with the white bellies. The males are the really dark ones. The females and the youngsters are the more brown-colored ones, but they're solid on the top, white on the belly. When they fly, you'll see white on the flanks of their tail as they fly away. There's a mourning dove on the ground over here underneath number 7. Let me know, Rick, when you've got something you want me to share with the rest of the crew here. The flock of finches this morning is incredible. We've got a large number of finches, a mixture, quite a number of redpolls, pine siskins, and American goldfinches. Try to get a good look at there's a red-breasted nuthatch on number 10. He's got the racing stripe above his eye. He's feeding on the suet. We weren't able to get this suet feeder on the quadrant view here because the camera won't focus on it. It's too skinny, and so then it focuses on everything behind it. So unfortunately, we couldn't get that on there. We tried before, but let's see. Anybody else in the audience here seeing something I'm not mentioning? A little hard to see around the corner here. There's a redpoll right on the big rock there in the corner. A couple of redpolls, and one on the pond there too. Redpolls are a special treat. The redpolls have been visiting the feeders here too. Look for the ones with the little red cap on the head. They've got a black mask. Oh, there's the redpoll. We've got it on video. And of course, he's facing away from us now. Little rascal. Oh, there it is. Yep, he's got the little red patch on the forehead, the dark wing with the white wing bar. The males have a rosy breast. The females just have white with streaking on the flanks. And they have a yellow bill on a black face mask. There, the lighting is better. This is a male right here. You can see the rosy breast color. And this species is a wintertime species, but it's very eruptive, meaning it's not here every year. We've been getting good luck this year having redpolls at our feeder. Really fun to have around, but there are many years, in fact, most years where we have none. And this has been a really good year where we've had quite a few. Those of you online, who out there has redpolls at their feeder? I know some of you have already said it. Just spotted the first red-winged blackbird under your feeders for this. Yes, Pam has got a red-winged blackbird. Oh, and looks like Jess saw that tufted titmouse snuck in on number 1 while we weren't looking. They do that. Jess is saying, Rick, you are awesome. There's the female cardinal on number 8, the upper right corner of your screen. And if you're looking at the upper left corner of your screen, the bottom bird on that feeder is a common redpoll. You've got pine siskins hanging upside down and one goldfinch hanging upside. Actually, 2 goldfinches, 3 goldfinches now on the right, on the left side. I have to flip it around in my mind because I see the mirror image on my screen. It really messes with my brain. There's the redpoll is facing us now. Cardinal on number 8. Redpolls here at our feeder, about 40 at Stu Visser Trails yesterday, the Mannings are saying. Anybody in the room here seeing redpolls at their feeders? A few of you. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. I finally got them at my feeder. I was doing a little work from home. I had an online meeting, and I got to sit and watch the feeders while I was doing my online meeting, and there were the redpolls. So I was super happy. That's a yard bird for me. That's number 80 for my yard. That was a milestone for being in the suburbs of Hudsonville. Like literally the suburbs. I hit 80. I'm like, someday I'll hit 100. Someday I'll hit 100. Anybody else have pine siskins at their feeders this winter? Pine siskins, great. And goldfinches. We'll see a few more hands go up, I think. They often congregate together, as you see. Titmouse. Where's the titmouse? Oh, and there's a red-breasted nuthatch on 5. Oh, titmouse right here. Yep. And a redpoll. American tree sparrows are these brown ones sitting in the tree. They got the white wing bar, the brown back. There's a little reddish, rusty red cap. And they also have a yellow beak. Don't get them confused with the redpoll now. These guys are a little bigger, and they spend a lot of time on the ground. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was there. Yes, I saw the redpoll was there too. I wasn't correcting you. John, no, I wasn't correcting. No, this guy is. We're getting a good look at a tree sparrow. Okay. There's a red-breasted nuthatch on the wreath, or the donut. Shall we not call it a donut? Besides, it was donated. I knew I would get some moans out there. Yes, yes. I'm infamous with my children for dad jokes. There's a hairy woodpecker on number 4. Let me quick switch back. Hairy woodpecker on number 4. Nice big woodpecker trying to get some seeds instead of some suet. And we'll go back to the red-breasted nuthatch because they come in so quick, and this guy's actually hanging around right in front of us. This is a female. Look at the cap on the head. It's not jet black. It's kind of bluish gray on the head. It's darker than the rest of the body, but it's still not dark. So that's a female. The male will have jet black on the top of the head. There's a redpoll right up on the same branch there. Flew away. Boy, house finch over on number 8. That's a new species for the day. That's around the corner for me, but I've got the cheater right here. I can look. 2 house finches and a cardinal. Those are the species that love feeder number 8. For whatever reason, they love that feeder. Let's see. I've got some comments. Hudsonville has suburbs. Oh, come on, Jeff, now. And honestly, it's growing suburbs. Yeah, it is, actually. If anybody drives Port Sheldon, which I do every day, you can see there are burbs to the burbs now. I don't live in the burbs to the burbs, though. I actually live on the Hudsonville-Jenison line. That's kind of my neighborhood. So the weather brought the longspurs out at Bingham. Yes, Lonnie, I saw you reported that yesterday. So the cold weather often gets the birds active and congregating, and they were reported yesterday. On the ground, there's a good flock of redpolls. And there's a nice rosy redpoll right here. 1, 2, 3. How many redpolls do we have? Somebody get a count. Like, wow. There's got to be 8 or 10 of them at least, if not more. So Lonnie reported longspurs, Lapland longspurs, out at Bingham and 128 area, the farmlands out there. So I might take a ride after work today and go see. And I also saw reported. Oh, what do you see? Junco? Yep. Okay. But another thing that was reported along with the longspurs out there in the farmland were eastern meadowlarks. And for those of you who read one of the last emails that I sent out about Badgerland birding, anybody read that? Anybody taking the March challenge? Rick is? Come on. It's good motivation to get out and get birding. One of the birds on there is eastern meadowlark. So I've seen song sparrow. I've tried for meadowlark, not gotten it yet, but maybe today I'll go get a meadowlark. I also tried for northern shoveler for quite a while. I was birding with a friend in Holland. We saw every other duck, not a shoveler. What's my winning bird? Oh, not the. You're talking about the. You're talking about this, right, Rick? March Madness. That's another thing they're doing. So the challenge is to see 3 species within the month of March, and if you do, you can put a message into them where you saw it and what date, all 3, and then they'll put you in a drawing for prizes. And this is Badgerland Birding. It's a YouTube channel. They're brothers from straight across the lake from us. They're just a little west of Milwaukee, and so I'm taking up the challenge to go see northern shoveler, meadowlark, eastern or western, and song sparrow. I've seen the song sparrow. That's a little easier, but waiting on the other 2. The other thing they're doing is this waterfowl tournament. So you could download your little bracket and vote for your favorite ducks. I have wood duck as the winner. So, anybody else doing the duck thing? No? All right. Duck madness, duck March Madness. Okay, how about anybody online? Are you guys taking up the March challenge of the 3 species, seeing the 3 species? Oh, I'm sorry, I missed. Cindy is saying redpolls here and my first pine siskins this year for a new yard bird. Oh, you don't need any more yard birds, Cindy. I know you've got a long list. She lives on the water, and she gets. Oh, there's a titmouse on one. There he goes. If I point at the screen, you guys don't look at my screen. Look up that way. So I know I've been doing a lot of talking, but I want to hear some more from, oh, good morning, Curtis. Shout out to my mom, Paula. She's here. Yes, I'm headed to Michigan in about 15 minutes. She must be on her way to visit you. That's nice. Good to hear from you. Oh, she did that to you the last time, too. Cindy is taking up the challenge. So good. Oh, and by the way, I need to take a break to have a bite of my donut. And how about it while I chew my donut? You have a question, something going on at your feeders, something you're just curious about, a bird you see out here you want to learn to identify better, something bird related is the only stipulation here. Questions? At this time of the year, they'll either be red or brown. So the brown ones are the females. They also do have some brighter red patches on them, spots on them. So, but they are, see if we can, if you see them in the right light, they have a real muted kind of a nice tawny color to them, brown color. So my gut on that is that it's a female. Um, Later in the summer, when the youngsters are around, they look like females, except for they have a black bill instead of an orange bill. So be on the lookout for that, and then they will transition to male plumage. Well, the males of the clutch will transition. Good question. Any other questions, online or in person? Cindy is now bragging. Hit 108 at Bayou Birding. That's the name of her little yard. Last week with red-shouldered hawk. 108. So this is 109 now with fine siskin, or is that just for the year? There's a white-breasted nuthatch on 4. That's a new one for the day. Oh, Rick is bragging, Cindy, 112. Rick has 112. Okay? In Standale. In Standale. He doesn't have water in his yard either. He's got a little swampy area in the back, but that pine siskin was 107. Okay. Mm-hmm. So the question here in person is, how do you tell the difference between a purple finch and a house finch? And I have a slide for that for those of you online. I wish I somehow show you here. Maybe I can. Let me see if I can do that real quick. It's always easiest. There's house finch and purple finch. Can you see that slide okay? I can't pull it too far or I'm gonna lose it. But the purple finch male is this. They're a real royal purple color. They've also got this darker cheek patch, and the royal purple it bleeds over into the back and the wings, and they don't have any streaks on the side. Notice the male house finch, streaks on the side. It's more brown on the back. It doesn't have the red bleeding back there. They have red on the rump and on the head, and the red is separated. But they also have these heavy streaks, and it's more of a red as opposed to a purple red. The females look very similar. However, the purple finch has that eyebrow stripe over its eye and a mustache under the eye, creating a dark cheek, whereas the house finch does not. The house finch is very plain colored. It's streaky, but it's very plain. It doesn't have very distinctive markings. And the purple finch female also has white on the breast with darker streaks rather than real muted streaks on the female purple or house finch. Is that helpful? Purple finch male, purple finch female, purple finch, house finch male, house finch female. Those of you online, you can't see where I'm pointing, but they're labeled there. You can see them a little easier than everybody here in the audience. So, but be on the lookout. That's a good call out to a species that should be increasing in number as they migrate through here very soon. You can see the time right now. There was one sighted at our feeder a little while back, but I haven't seen it myself. That doesn't mean it wasn't real. But but I'm still like, oh, I work here and I didn't get to see it. But as we get on into April in particular, then they tend to be more abundant as they usually go further south, and then they make their way back through here and they breed further north. So that's the typical pattern. But good question. We got a hairy woodpecker on number 4. We haven't seen the first downy woodpecker yet. Interesting. Has it been? On the donut. Oh, we've had the downy on the donut. Okay. So online, amaze. Okay. Now Carl and Judy are upping the ante on this. When you rile up birders, we're competitive. We're competitive. Amaze, which is the name of their yard, Carl and Judy Manning, 132 all time. All right. You put us all to shame there, Mannings. Okay, he's at the door back here. How many yard birds do you have, Hank? 175. Take that, Mannings. That's Hank. That's Hank Beldman. 175. Anybody higher? Higher? Do we have more? That's unique species. Yes, that's number of species. So, so those of you who are unfamiliar with the birding culture of those more hardcore birders, you're getting a window into some of the fun that we have with each other. This is all set in fun. We have fun competition with each other, but we love sharing these experiences. And my highest yard bird total was 125, but that was in Wyoming within a quarter mile of 131. 4 years to 125. So if you balance the number of years and the number of species, maybe. But I had a little woodlot in my backyard, so I just got all kinds of birds. Yep. So let's see. Congratulations, Hank. They're congratulating you. The Mannings are congratulating you. And this is Rick's father right here, and mother here too. Is it just you? Just you, Hank Veldman. So, and Cindy is saying if the Mannings would come by bird my yard with their expertise, I'd probably be close to 132. And Jessica Sori has birded at the Mannings and is attesting to the fact that amaze is amazing. Yes. Oh, and Lonnie is seconding that too. Downy on the suet up there. Can we get that online? We got the downy woodpecker on the suet. Those of you who remember last month how much trouble we had with this. You can see it even though it's fuzzy. There. That's what we can do. That's why we don't have it on a camera. It's fuzzy. The white-breasted? Oh, yes. Just out of my view. Yep. And here's a junco right here in front of the window. Okay. Chickadees have been briefly popping into one. Jessica Sori is saying the chickadees have been popping into one. The thing about them, watching online, they don't have the distraction of everything else going on around, like the whole feeders. They're just looking at the 4 pictures here. This is their view most of the time, right here. Okay. I'm turning the computer around so that they can see you all. So they see the red-bellied woodpecker and the number 1. So they're seeing actually number 7. They're seeing number 4 with the red-bellied. They're seeing number 1, the tray feeder, and number 8 over there. That's what their fixed cameras are on. That's these cameras on the sides that you see. Okay. Thank you for those updates, because it's nice to have your focused attention on those feeders there online, so that you draw our attention to what you're seeing. Any other questions, comments, stories, sightings, things you want to share? So the question is about cedar waxwings. I also heard a question about what's on number 4. On number 4 is a red-bellied woodpecker. So in relation to the program that we're going to be doing later on the red-headed woodpecker, this species often gets mistaken for the red-headed woodpecker and called red-headed woodpecker because it has red on its head. To find out more about red-bellied woodpecker versus red-headed woodpecker, stay tuned for the program either in person or online with the video. I address that. So, but the question here was about cedar waxwings. Do they come into the feeders? Is that what you're asking? And are they seasonal or do they stay all winter? That's the question. They are, they're nomadic, I'll put it that way. So we can see them any time of the year here in Michigan, any time of the year. However, in the spring and summertime, they're widespread, they're paired up, they're nesting, okay? I tend to see a big number of them late in the summer when the youngsters are out feeding over the rivers and lakes and things, all the insects above the water. But then as the season changes into the winter, they flock up into large flocks, and they move around to sources of food like berry trees. And so since they're so nomadic, you may see one flock in one area and not see any more anywhere else around. So they're harder to connect with. Those of you who were on the winter birding field trip, anybody in the room on the field trip? Yeah, we saw in the afternoon session the birding the barrens. We saw cedar waxwings. Were you on the? You weren't on. Oh, you were in the morning one. We saw a whole lot more birds in the first session, but we saw the cedar waxwings in the second. So cedar waxwings were seen on that. That was on February 26th that we went out. Anybody else seeing cedar waxwings out there? One flock in Allegan County. Okay. Yep. Look where the berry trees are is the comment here. Wherever you know a large concentration of mountain ash or crabapple, things like that, is a great place to look for that species. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as far as starlings, if you're getting inundated at the feeder with starlings, a good way to do it is to take them down for a while and make them move on. They're a difficult problem to get rid of. As far as the robins, we have been seeing an increasing number of robins in the winter all around. I'm told. Downy woodpecker on number 2. Downy woodpecker. This is a really good look. I'll come back to that. Remind me. This is a really good look at the downy woodpecker. You can see the outer white tail feathers. Everybody see that? The little white tail feathers? And there's little black flecks on them. You can see that online real well. That's characteristic of downy woodpecker. The hairy woodpecker does not have black flecks on the outer white tail feathers. And this is a male. He's got the red patch on the back of his head. The females have no red on them whatsoever. There he goes. Oh, something's frightening in them. So, oh, we got the white-breasted nuthatch. Do you have them in the camera? Oh, the downy is right here. Something came in, the hawk or something. There's a white-breasted nuthatch that's hunkered down there too. So there was a threat. They observed a threat, and oh, there he goes. Get it on that white-breasted nuthatch if you can, Rick. We'll get it on the white-breasted nuthatch that's kind of holding tight. They stop moving and freeze to stop drawing attention to themselves. If they move, then the predator has a chance better chance to see it and chase it. So they freeze when there's a predator around. You see anything out there? Black-capped chickadee. That's my. I think there's a couple of them. I know they've been coming in and out, but I've been missing them. And that's because they're the drive-through birds. They come, they grab, and they go. They're not the dine-in birds like the finches are. Red-breasted nuthatch. Oh, there he goes. Over to number 1. Of course, I didn't have it on there. Just a nice look at a white-breasted nuthatch. Now you can see the rusty on the underside of the tail when he faces you like this. I see some more comments here. Woodcocks have been reported at Upper Mac. When do they usually start showing up? Lonnie, right now is when they start showing up. The first ones by mid-March usually. But we're on the early side of them showing up. Usually I actually tried last night here at Hemlock Crossing, but it was too cold. So if they were here, they probably weren't going to call. But anytime now they can start showing up. Yes. Back and forth. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I needed that reminder, Rick. Thanks. Other comments. I saw a flock of cedar waxwings 3 consecutive days in my neighbor's tree this week, Holland Heights. So Jean is saying she saw them for 3 consecutive days. Well, they'll utilize a food source for a while, and then when it's gone, they'll move on. Or even before it's gone. They keep moving around. So you may see them there for a few days and then gone. Or if the source is big enough, you might see them more consistently in that location through the winter. So, the question was robins in winter, right? Who asked the question? Robins. You did, yes. Robins in winter have become more frequent. Higher numbers of robins in the winter. As our winters generally have become milder, or at least we have the spikes in temperatures, and then we've got the real warm times, then they're able to make it. And so we do have wintering robins every year. Some years we'll have more. Last year we had a lot. This year we have quite a few too. I've seen a pretty good jump in the last couple of years. But did I answer all of your questions? Okay. Mike. Royal Park condominiums, south of Zealand. Probably, so the comment is that the Royal Park condominium south of Zealand has had robins every winter, and it must be that there's berry trees in the area. It must be that there. So heated sidewalks would probably help too. Yeah, yep, for sure. Oh, we've got a bunch of finches back on the feeder now. So red poles and siskins and goldfinches all together. I love it. There's a single red pole on the feeder on the right out here. You can see that little black face and how the yellow offsets that black. The yellow bill offsets the black face mask. There are a lot of birds. So there's also birds on feeder number 3, which is a larger version of feeder number 4. And I hear, if you listen, that was me, those of you online. I tried to fake you out. But there was a chickadee singing outside. That's his song. Hey, sweetie. I say, hey, sweetie. Nice look at red poles there. Oh, I'm loving it. There's a female cardinal on number 8 over here around the corner. There it flies. Let's see. Blue jay, actually. There was a That's a blue jay. So be on the lookout for a blue jay to come in. We'll add that to the list. Thank you for drawing that out. There he is. See, I'm not lying. If this is not motivation for you all to learn your bird songs, I don't know what is. Okay? We need to call in the affiliated, right? Yes, we saw him yesterday. Yeah. That was not funny. Yep. Got a few comments here I need to catch up on. Robins in my yard like dried cranberries I put out. Oh, wow. I would encourage if you get the unsweetened, because they'll sweeten those with a lot of sugar. I don't know if you can get them just dried, normal dried without the sweeteners in it, but that's a great idea. The other thing that they might like are dried mealworms, too. So let's see. A flock of cedar waxwings, 3 consecutive. Oh, I read that one. Robins like dried cranberries. Jess Sorey is saying, I have a large flock of robins in the neighborhood all winter this year. This is the first year we have observed this. Okay. And Jeff is saying, video today could not be any better. Wonderful. I thought you were saying could be better. I was like, uh-oh. It's good to hear that the quality has continued to be good. And by the way, we're at 25, and I think, 26. We're in competition with in-person here. How many do we have here in person? And thank you for the comment, Jeff. And Cindy is saying, agreed, Jeff. Rick is doing an amazing job. Thank you, Rick. Yes, shout out to Rick again. Raise your mugs if you're online or in person. Raise your mugs for Rick. We're clapping. We could not do this without Rick and his expertise. So we're very, very thankful to him for that and the partnership that we've formed here. We've had a 28 peak online. So I'm going to count in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. If you count me, we're tied. Oh. Oh, dipping. That's funny. We had somebody in our audience saying that they were also online for a bit. So I'm counting me too. I'm online. Oh, Jess is counting herself. Well, if I count me here, you count you there. So that works. Oh, feeder number 2. I need to go to 2. There we go. Anybody tell me, is this a Downy or a Hairy and why? On number 2. On camera 2, number 10 feeder. Sorry. My bad. I apologize. Camera 2. Sandhill crane. So that was a hairy woodpecker. Yes. Longer beak, larger size, hairy woodpecker. Sandhill cranes. You saw them flying over. It is time for them to return. I've had my first one. It was actually standing right here. It flew over the building. So, but yes, the sandhill cranes are back. Be listening for them, especially on sunny days. They'll be flying high altitude overhead, and they'll be roosting in some of our wetland parks. If you go to Upper Makatawa Natural Area, you're sure to hear or see them. The river here often has them. So find some of your marshy habitats, and you'll find sandhill cranes. Robin story. fermented. So the story is of a berry tree in a backyard that remained full of berries all winter until the robins returned in the spring, and a big flock of robins descended on the berry tree. And since the berries had been there for a very long time, they had fermented, and the robins got drunk off the berries and flew very erratically, is how my mom put it. Yes, that's my mom. She's here. No, I don't, unfortunately. I was probably too young. I apparently witnessed that myself, but I don't remember it, so I was probably pretty little. Red-breasted nuthatch on number 10. Red-breasted nuthatch. Downy woodpecker on number 5. And I'm realizing the time. I hate to draw this to a close. I'm having fun this morning. I hope you all are too. Yes. Sure. Wow. When was that? Okay. And here in Ottawa County? Zealand. You take pictures of it and things too? That's an extremely rare record, and there have been other accounts of them showing. I have seen a western tanager in Ottawa County by happenstance. Lonnie Garris, thank you, Lonnie, for the goldfinch. So we were on a walk. He said, "Is that a goldfinch?" Or look, there's a goldfinch, and I looked up at it, and it was a western tanager. And so we replay that story quite often. That was at Upper Meketawa Natural Area. I know you were there. My mom was there. Yep. But they're a beautiful bird. We saw the female type, so it was not all the brilliant colors. But we have a story here of a gentleman from Zealand who 5 or 6 years ago had a western tanager blow in and spend some time in their yard. Was it feeding on your suet or anything like that, or just hanging in the area? Oh, hairy and red-bellied together. Hairy and red-bellied. Look at that. First, well, no, we did have red-bellied earlier. Yep. That's a female red-bellied, because if you see, the forehead is gray, and the red is only on the back of the head. The male will have a red cap going all the way to its beak. Number 1 is the male. Look at that. We got the male over here. No, I don't have the male on the... Why is the male not on the... Oh, because the camera is off, and he flew away. There was a male on number 1. I think he was on the side of the camera that you couldn't see online. Sorry. And the female was on number 5 to it. So, but the story was about a western tanager showing up to Zealand about 5 years ago. Oh, thank you. Yes, tufted titmouse. There we go. And hanging in the area for a while. Yeah, if you have any pictures or anything, I'd be curious to even document that. Yeah. But yeah, any documentation of rare birds like that is really interesting to put in the records. We've got a book, The Birds of Ottawa County, that documents all of the birds of Ottawa County, but also the rare ones too that have shown up. So, oh, good. Well, I hate to do this because the birds are great, the company is great here and online. I need to check and make sure that let's see, that I'm hitting all of these online comments. Having a wonderful time. Thank you for all your hard work and keep us all connected and opportunities to share and enjoy bird stories. You're welcome, Pamela. Thank you. Manning say, you and Rick are doing a fantastic presentation today. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for the comments. Wonderful and fun today. Thank you both. From Mary. Thank you. Pamela, just saw my first black-capped chickadee doing a dive-through at my feeders this morning. Great. And Lonnie says, best misidentification of the goldfinch that was a western tanager. But you can handle it, Lonnie, right? You can handle it. It's all right. I wouldn't have looked at it if you hadn't have said it was there. So, you know, credit to you for at least pointing out that there was a bird to look at. And in the comments there is the red-headed woodpecker video. Those of you, when we sign off here, click on that and watch the red-headed woodpecker birding tidbit video. It's about 15 minutes long. And those of us here on this end, feel free to, we're going to transition over into the other room for the presentation. But I want to thank you online and you in person, live studio audience, online live stream audiences for making it a success today. We've got over 50 people at once enjoying Coffee with the Birds. So thank you. Thank you for making this a success. And thank you, Rick, for helping to make this a success for the season and for today. So thank you, Rick. It's always bittersweet to draw this to a close, and I know for the online folks, it's ending. And we're going to do one more feeder session here today, but it is bittersweet because these are fun to do, but it's time to transition to out there and seeing the birds outdoors. Don't wait until December to go birding. If I can say anything to you, it is let this be your springboard, literally and figuratively, right? Spring is right around the corner. Migration is already happening. Get out there, enjoy the birds. The birds are going to be less dependent on these feeders as we get into the spring. They're going to be out on the trails of the Ottawa County parks or in your backyards and neighborhoods. Get out, notice the birds, enjoy the birds. Come on a bird walk if you want with Ottawa County Parks. We offer them, and you can find out more about them on soon. If you sign up, if you're on the birding update email list, I will get you a schedule of the birding programs soon, because that is, it's coming soon. Some of the programs may already be online, so you can already start checking there. I'll send you a full schedule in the near future, but don't let this be goodbye until December, okay? Go enjoy the birds. I hope to see you all out on the birding trail, and thank you so much for your support of Coffee with the Birds in this program. I'm going to sign off. We'll maybe leave the feeders running for a few minutes until Rick has to cut the feed to take down the equipment. But thank you all online. We'll see you around. And those of you in the audience, feel free to get up, get a fresh cup of coffee and a donut, and I'll meet you in the great room here in just a few minutes. Signing off. Bottom.